Imagine a 4-year-old child walks into a room and on the table there is a doll. 5 minutes later, the child is punching it, kicking it, inventing new ways to hurt it. No one told the child to do this. So where did this aggression come from? And which of these do you think is the more likely answer? Option 1. Children learn through rewards and punishments, through approval and disapproval from people around them. Option 2. Aggression builds up inside and must be released, an idea that is known as catharsis. In psychology, there is rarely one right answer, but some explanations are better than others. For a long time, psychologists believed that aggression was learned through direct experience, like rewards and punishments. But in the early 1960s, this belief was quietly challenged by an experiment. It asked the question, what if simply watching is enough? In 1959, psychologists named Albert Bandura and Walters had already noticed something intriguing. Children with aggressive parents often behaved aggressively themselves. But was this because they were being punished and rewarded differently, or because they were copying what they saw? To answer this, Albert Bandura designed an experiment which he didn't think today would be one of the significant experiments in psychology. This study involved 72 children aged between 3 to 6 from Stanford Nursery School. They were randomly assigned to one of 3 groups: an aggressive model, a non-aggressive model, or no model at all. Now, from here on, I want you to imagine yourself as one of these kids. The room feels safe. There are puzzles, crayons, and in the corner, a strange inflatable clown called Bobo. An adult enters the room. For the first time, everything seems normal. The adult sits quietly, calmly assembling Tinker toys. Nothing unusual. Then, without warning, something changes. The adult stands up, walks over to the Bobo doll, and starts attacking it. Punching it, hitting it with a mallet, throwing it across the room, kicking it while shouting things no child usually hears on a playground. Sock him in the nose, hit him down, pow! The child says nothing. They just watch for 10 full minutes. But not every child saw this. Only the first group of 24 children. The next group walked into the same room and the adult never touched the doll. They quietly sat, building toys, completely ignoring Bobo as if it didn't exist. And the third group, they saw no adult at all. No model, no behavior. Just a baseline of how children act on their own. And then came the real test. Each child from all 3 groups was led into another room. The room had everything: the same Bobo doll, a mallet, even a toy gun. Alongside peaceful toys, tea sets, crayons, stuffed animals, the child was told they could play freely. And then they were left alone for 20 minutes. Now, while the child believed that no one is watching them, behind the mirror, the experimenter was taking down notes, recording every little move. And here is when the behavior started speaking. Some children ignored the Bobo doll completely. Some played calmly, but others, they walked straight towards the doll, they punched it, they hit it, they kicked it. But this wasn't a subtle effect. Children who watched calm adults or no adults at all showed no signs of aggression. They quietly kept doing their thing. They didn't show any initiative aggression. But almost all who were exposed to aggression imitated their role model and started being aggressive with the Bobo doll. Initiation of aggression was common and precise. The behavior was copied like a script. But the story doesn't end there. Something even more surprising happened. The children didn't just repeat what they saw, they went one step further. They invented new ways to be aggressive, actions which the role model had not shown. Pretending to shoot the doll, creating their own aggressive games. Observation hadn't just taught them what to do, it had lowered their inhibition. One result particularly stood out. Girls who watched an aggressive adult performed on an average 18 aggressive acts. And girls who watched a calm adult, almost none. Same room, same toys, and the same children. The only difference was what they had observed. The experiment reveals something unsettling. Aggression didn't need to be rewarded. It didn't need to be encouraged. Sometimes just watching is enough. At this point, it is tempting to say that children were just copying the behavior and there is nothing new about it. But that's not the most disturbing part of the experiment. The children didn't just learn or just copy aggression. They learned when aggression is acceptable. Because the adult wasn't punished, the adult wasn't stopped, and the adult looked normal. So the child's brain made a quiet calculation. If someone like this can do this, then maybe I can too. The Bobo doll experiment wasn't just about violence. It was about learning life by observing. Now you might be wondering, but Rochelle, that happened in the 1960s in a quiet lab with a doll. And today children are not exposed to something that silly. So why should it matter today when children are exposed to screens, YouTube, Instagram, games, algorithms? Yeah, that was a rhetorical question. Well, because the experiment was never about the doll. It was about role models. It was about learning life just by observing. And today, children don't have one role model. On their screens, they have thousands. Today, kids watch influencers for hours every day, consume content full of violence, online outrage, cancel culture drama. The scale has changed, but the psychology behind it has not. Social learning theory has provided us with stark contrast from the first two theories by saying we learn behaviors, values, and emotional reactions by observing role models. Now, a very interesting question came to my mind. If observational learning is teaching children aggression, what else could it be teaching? We find that aggression was just a building block to social learning theory. It goes far beyond that, because no one ever sits with children and tells them what a successful life looks like. We just absorb it. And yes, I said we, because this goes beyond childhood. We start wanting careers because we like how they sound. We want lifestyles because we see them being rewarded. We chase goals not because we chose them, but because we observed them and they seemed glamorous. Well, there is no hard to digest takeaway message from it. It's just fascinating. And it prompts us once in a while to think what we want in life and why we choose it. Do I want it or did I observe it? Because in this glamorous world of medical and courtroom drama, it's interesting to ask ourselves, where did we observe this desire? The Bobo doll experiment didn't just reveal how children learn aggression, it revealed how humans learn life. We like to believe our desires are personal, that our goals are chosen, that our values are entirely our own. But psychology tells a quieter story. Much of who we become is learned by watching. So maybe the more important question isn't why are children behaving this way, but who are they watching? And sometimes it's good to slow down a little bit and ask ourselves, who are we watching?